Hello everyone, my name is RuneStrike, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new FL Studio 20.8 update. I'm not much of an FL Studio guy. I'm mainly an Ableton user. I've played with FL Studio in the past, but I've never really dug deep into it. But I do know that a lot of times when FL Studio does come out with an update, they're normally pretty big changes from what I've seen in past videos that they released like this. So I've seen a little bit of this video, and I didn't finish the video, so we're going to get my genuine reaction to some of these new features that are coming to FL Studio from an Ableton viewer's point of view. So without a further ado, let's watch this trailer for FL Studio 20.8.
It's difficult to measure the value of software. Some say it's measured by features. Some believe it comes from the joy it brings. Other folks say it can't be measured at all. Well, we don't know anything about that. We just deliver. One lifetime free update at a time.
And there it is, the selling point. Them and their free updates, which is awesome, actually. I wish Ableton had that. You're lucky to get updates from Ableton, like, at all. You win, FL Studio. You win that round.
Frequency splitter. Use frequency splitter to split audio into 2 or 3 bands using linear phase or zero latency filters.
See, that's actually a pretty useful function, and it's actually kind of hard to do in Ableton with, like, keeping the frequency the same. Like, some people have proved that, like, if you just use like an EQ or like a multiband dynamics, the frequency, the actual like phase of it will change if you use those components. So if this one like doesn't have that, that's pretty cool. That's actually quite handy to have.
Frequency splitter is also perfect to sidechain out the high end for effects like reverb to avoid muddying the low end.
I think they could have found a more creative way to use that, actually, instead of just separating the reverb. It's like, if you have a good reverb, you can do that in the reverb. Like, I'm not an FL Studio guy, but this button right here looks like a low cut on the reverb, so why not just low cut the reverb? Unless I'm missing something. Like, why would you do all this extra work to split the frequencies if you could just low cut the... Moving on.
Frequency splitter is also an ideal tool in Patcher. We've used it here to create a multi-band effects chain in a single effect slot.
Now that's awesome. That's genuinely pretty cool.
Instrument tuner. When you need a tuner, you need one. Tuner has dial and line visualizations. All you need to help tune guitars, brass and woodwind.
That's handy to have.
Parametric EQ 2 has had a massive upgrade. We've added a linear phase mode, and you can now edit frequencies without affecting the phase, where that's important. Attention was paid to low latency processing at the lowest CPU.
That's awesome.
You can now avoid phasing artifacts when mixing wet and dry signals with the high quality switch.
That's actually really awesome, because I was noticing when I used those they sounded kind of funky, but now that if he's doing, yeah.
And the moment you've all been waiting for since we introduced Frequency Splitter, improved display modes, including a frequency histogram. Nice.
That's freaking awesome.
But wait, there's more. You can also combine the histogram with the original heat map view. In full, above, we call this Aurora mode, and below.
That's freaking awesome.
There's also a phase rotation display so you can inspect phase alterations when you're not in linear phase mode.
I don't know what that is, but that's awesome.
In response to your requests, we've added audio copy and paste to the channel sampler and audio clip preview window. Right-click the waveform to copy and paste via the audio clipboard. Pasting also creates a new file, which is handy for sound. You can now disable the arpeggiator on many presets that use it.
That's awesome. There are some sounds that I used in Flex that had a stupid arpeggiator. I didn't know how to turn them off. So that explains a lot.
Merge automation clips. Assign the new clip to control all previous targets, the first clip's target, or none.
See, it's not very cool to enable in the user actually, because like all of our automation is just there. We don't like have patterns for that, so I wouldn't even have to worry about merging it like that.
No more hunting for pesky initialized controls in the browser.
I have no idea what he's talking about with that. I guess I'm just missing something.
Language support. Introducing native language support for Chinese. More languages to come soon. And one last thing, there's now an option to select flat buttons by right-clicking the toolbar. We'll leave you with the new demo project.
The heck? That looks weird. I'm not sure what to think about that.
As we love your lifetime free updates.
And there's the selling point again. Okay, so let's gather my thoughts. Okay, there was a lot to digest in this video. That was a pretty big update. I think the thing I am most excited about is the fact that they upgrade the EQ so much. Like, the old one used to have that weird line thing. It's cool, but it'd be just nice to have a more traditional looking EQ, and they finally add that, plus you can layer it with the other one, which makes it freaking awesome. Ableton's doesn't do that, so that's pretty cool. I thought the EQ splitter was actually pretty cool to have, just because it doesn't change the way the phase of the sound when it splits the frequencies, which is really cool. And it's just nice to have a tool that is dedicated to doing that. I think they could have used it for something better than splitting the reverb. That was kind of weird. I like the fact that they had an instrument tuner. That's actually really handy to have. Some things I thought were kind of cool for FL Studio, like the sampler thing where you copy a sound from one and paste it into another sampler, and that's cool. But in Ableton you can already do that. It's cool for FL Studio because I want to use FL Studio some more and play around with it. One thing I am happy about that they're trying to do inside of FL Studio is recognize graphics card potential, like with their Z Game editor. It's just cool to see audio programs starting to recognize like the power of graphics cards and utilizing them in their software. Like FL Studio uses Z Game editor. I wish Ableton would come up with something that would just make the DAW more than just a DAW, and FL Studio is trying to do that. I like the direction they're going with FL Studio, honestly. I like the fact that they add features like this that no one else would really think about adding. Like, who would think about adding a visualizer built into a DAW? It's both go hand in hand, but FL Studio is the only one that made it, so I gotta give them props for that. I'm definitely looking forward to using some of these functions in later videos of mine, so if you want to see those, make sure to hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, sign your life away, and whatever you have to do to get the stuff off my channel from YouTube. And see you all next time.